Okay guys, it's Monday morning. We're up and running again after a hard race week. It's obviously crazy race weeks. You put your heart and soul into getting everything done late nights, and our reward for being good over the weekend and running cars well is more work on Monday, so sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. But obviously we're blessed with all this work, but the best thing about the weekend is we got to race our own car, and we had a great time doing it.
As dit net reg het oor gehardloop en dan kon ek hierdie uitgesny.
Kan dat jy veel ding op hom.
Ek het flatball wat ek aan boord sit, dan sny ons hierdie uit. Ons ten minste uit. Dan kan ek die fuel tank net uithaal, die pype uitsny, dit op die flatball mount, dan sien jy ten minste reg en dan die bumper sny.
Ek gaan net vir niks sê, ek gaan nie 'n sticker plek kry.
What did you just convince Nian to do?
We're just trying to get the weight out, so we're just going to mount the fuel tank a bit differently so we can cut the spare wheel tub out. Creates a lot of drag and it's a bunch of weight that we can save quickly.
Okay, so this is, you plan to do this during the course of the day before qualifying, is that correct?
Yeah, within the next 2 hours it'll be done. Should be, hopefully.
I feel very frustrated. Every fast lap I did, they let a slow car out the pits right in front of me. And I mean, it's just, they can see a car's coming. Just,
but other than that, you
yeah, I did a 20.9, yeah, so should be pole.
And the red light goes off for the first race of 2026 Power Series racing season.
The leaders are heading into turn 5, into Pertamina Fostron, and it's Nian that leads him up there.
With 5 laps left to go, we jump back to the lead.
Nian, well, he's got a sizable lead. And then behind him is Williams, as he sits out there in that 16th position, does Williams, as we watch them slide out of turn 4, out of Saddle Sweep, onto the Kalani Straight. The leaders, trying to pick up where the leader's heading into turn 5 right now, into Pertamina Fostron, and that fight is still going crazy behind him between Dexter Bruce and Baby Jakes.
And we watch your leader, Nian. There we see the leader, Nian coming out of the final corner.
That's your race leader heading towards a checkered flag, and he is light years ahead of second place man, and into P1, crossing the line first. Nian couple of
5 red lights went out and we're down into block going corner turn 1. Nian had the utmost resilience to lead from start to finish in race number 1. He's pulled the whole shot into turn number 1 in the second race of the day. But he has that very quick, very fast charging Valen Volskink just behind him.
Absolutely stacked field for this KDS BMW Cape Town Championship here. But we go back to the race leaders here. Another cracking start from Nian Back with the leaders. This is sensational stuff. As up the inside goes Volchek, leaning on each other. This is racing at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. BMW side by side, and Volchek actually holds on to the lead there, but Detroit going to try and outbreak him round the outside, pull the car in. Beautiful cutback move by Detroit, but Volchek places that car exactly where it needs to be. Amazing defensive driving going on here.
It's not often you can get past Nian and stay there, come through, but on the dirt ever so slightly. The E46 M3 with S54, I believe that motor is turboed, comes out of Sorrel Sweep, and the turbo power pulls that car more and more ahead, unless it is naturally aspirated, but it's still got the top end power ahead of the M52 B28, naturally aspirated with throttles in that Nian NDT Racing BMW.
Out of the final corner underneath the City of Cape Town Bridge, and it's going to be a race win then for Waylon Volshink. Takes the checkered flag. It's going to be Nian across the line in second position, who drove the absolute wheels off of that car.
With my own racing this weekend, we managed to qualify a pole. I had some traffic in qualifying as people were still leaving the pits and stuff. But I managed to put a decent lap in and put it on pole. There were some potentially faster cars on track, but they obviously had more trouble than me putting in a fast lap. I really wanted to get into the low 20s. I just barely got into the 1 minute 20s. But in the first race, I was out in front on my own. It was really early in the morning, so it was really cold. So I got down to a 20.3, which I was really chuffed with. Before I went out, I said I wanted to do 8 20s in a row, and I did 7. So it was almost there. And in the second race, I had the Wayland with his turbocharged M3 next to me on the grid. So I knew I was going to have to do everything I can to get it behind, keep it behind me. But ultimately, his car was too fast in a straight line for me to keep him behind me for forever. So the first 4 laps, we had a nice ding-dong battle, and then, yeah, he left me behind. And but I finished first overall for the weekend, so yeah, really chuffed with that, and probably the fastest NA 328 on semi-slicks that have ever gone around the track, so I'm really chuffed with that. So my plans for the season are to campaign in the BMW Car Club for all the rounds that I can afford or manage to be there, as long as everything runs within order. It's the class that I'm really passionate about. I would love to race in sports and GTs, but ultimately I don't have a sports and GT car, and they don't accept my 4-door BMW. So yeah, I race in BMW Car Club. There's very little rules, which is a lot of freedom for everybody making their own plans. And you know, yes, you can spend a lot of money, but ultimately it's your job to keep the spending under control. So it does show how different people try and go fast. So I really, really enjoy that aspect of it. So yeah, that's the plan for the season, racing in BMW Car Club and seeing the class grow. The customers' cars went really well this weekend. We're really happy with how everything worked out. All our cars finished except one, the Simeon's turbocharged Nissan. On the start of the second race, on the warm-up laps, big cloud of smoke came out the back, and now we realized that the 2 fuel pumps are running on the same wires, but the wires can only really carry 1 fuel pump, and so can only the fuse. So the fuel pumps trip, and because we're getting the signal to switch on the oil pump at the back that pumps the oil for the turbo back to the engine, runs off that, it switches on our relay, that stopped. So that's the smoke he saw, and that's why he pulled off. But ultimately the car would have come to a standstill. But otherwise, he had a fantastic time, and I mean, he said to me it's the first time in 12 months that he's finished, 10-lap races, and he did all the practice, and he could actually work on his craft. So yeah, we got a bit into driver training, which seemed to make him really excited. And the other Nissan, Brett, same story, did all the races, did all the laps, got to do some driver training with them, so that really made them excited. So I'm really happy for them. Obviously, we had the Nova Racing, Davy qualified pole, did really well in that regard. The first race with the Janetta right next to him, it was quite close because the Janetta is slightly faster in a straight line and can beat him down to turn 1. But he managed to get past Gary and win the first heat. The second heat was really close. He finished in second. Couldn't get past Gary, but also won overall because of the margin in the first race. So yeah, really happy about the weekend's performance. The guys were great like always. So yeah. Connor's racing went really well this weekend as well. He raced his M3 in Sports and GT, which is the first time he's actually ever raced that car. He's practiced with it before, he's owned it for quite a while, but yeah, I think he came first in class for the weekend. So yeah, great time on that. And then his 328 that he races in BMW Car Club, he was slightly off the pace after qualifying, and Friday night we were eating some pizzas in the workshop, and he said, Nian, isn't there some low-hanging fruit here? And I said, sure, we can take some weight out. Paul noticed that the intake charge was really, really hot, so we changed the air filter down to the front of the bumper, and the next morning the car was 2 seconds a lap faster. We took about 30 kilograms out, the intake charge temperature went down by 30 degrees, and the car was almost 8 kilometers per hour faster in the back straight. So he had a great time. I'm not sure where he finished, but he was really chuffed and had a great time, and sent me a message afterwards saying how much he enjoyed working on the cars Friday night. So yeah, we're super chuffed with all that. And then we have Jannie Yatsi's car. He looked like he had a great time. I think he did very close to his best time ever as well, except that was on a much lower boost level this weekend. His car, after we put the much stiff springs in it, looked much more stable under braking and through the corners. In fact, he's going to bring it back after they've done some more work on their side for even stiffer springs, and we'll probably try and lower it even more. As you put stiffer springs in, the car moves around less, so the chances of the wheels touching actually decreases, so you can drop the car slightly. So we'll squeeze as much as we can out of that as well. So yeah, looking forward to the car coming back, and really pleased to see how happy he is with the improvement in the handling. So yeah. Okay, so that's the story about the weekend's racing. Obviously, it's hectic. The next chapter continues. We're sort of looking out for partners to carry on supporting us through the year with the videos we're wanting to make, and also the racing we would potentially want to do. But anyway, see you guys tomorrow for the next video, and thank you for following.